5 laps, wrapping up at 10. DHL Chip Ganassi Racing Honda with his first win of the 2024 championship. 10th career win, as you now also assume the points lead up 12 over Will Palou. Let's take us through, not lap by lap, but certainly you lost the lead at the very beginning, but stayed with it on it.
Yeah, thank you for reminding me that. But
I'm here for it.
Yeah, honestly, it wasn't a great start from my side. Did a mistake, overshooted the braking a little bit, and just lost that place. Went into the grass a little bit, so wasn't my best start. But yeah, I was just looking forward to getting that back and try and get the lead back. But then we lost another place. I think on the first stint with power, we were on the blacks, the primaries at that time. But honestly, our pace was a lot better than I thought on the primaries. So we were able to stay with them. They pitted early. We worked at them both, and from that point we stayed on the lead. So yeah, I would say that today the hard part was done by my crew, the number 10 crew, my engineers and my mechanics, only that first position back, and I just had to control from the lead.
Yeah. Chip called it a team win afterwards, certainly was that. But then on the restart, maybe a little nervous. That's for you. You got to keep nobody behind you. How did you do that?
Yeah, it wasn't easy. It's a very big straight. Like, if you look, I would say that it's probably the biggest straight that we have, and it's the worst for restarts because it's easy to get it out. So also had a longer first gear than Power did. So when I went on Power on throttle, he had a bigger jump than myself because my first gear was so tall. So wasn't great, but kept the lead there, did my job, and yeah, we were able to finish up front.
Congratulations again, first way to start the month of May. Questions for Alex Palou, with beginning with Chris, and then Nathan Brown after that. Or Brown.
Alex, the last time that DHL won a race, you hadn't even started in Super Formula yet. How important is it to have a new sponsor bring them into bigger lane, especially at a track like this?
Oh, really? 2018? Yeah, I mean, they since day one, they told me that they were hungry to win. So it's great. I was a bit disappointed that when we won a third one, obviously it wasn't with them to give them, because it's tough to get wins, and it's not easy to get two in a year, even if that one doesn't count in points. But yeah, it's great to give them a win. The first one together is probably the most difficult one to get, and hopefully we can get one more this month.
Alex, looking back on a year ago, this win that you had on the Iowa road course set you into a streak of winning 4 in 5 races that went all the way into early July. Thinking back on that, is there a time in there where you felt like things really just started to click, and where that run kind of came together momentum-wise?
Yeah, last year was special. I mean, we got the win here, all the GP, and then 3 wins in a row. Like, it felt amazing every time we were on track. We were P1, so that felt super good. But it's tough. I mean, if something doesn't go 100% nowadays in IndyCar, there's somebody that is there to take the win from you. At Barber, I thought that we were in a really good position, and then a yellow just took us out of the race for the win. And I think this year it's been like that. Like, we've been feeling that we're there, ready to fight, and didn't really get a chance until today, except some beat that we didn't really have speed. But yeah, I mean, it feels good. Hopefully we can get that momentum that we have now, and carry it the same way as we did last year.
You have a chance to do something no one has ever done yet in the 10 years of this road course race on the IndyCar calendar, winning both the pole in the 500 and road course race, and both wins in those races as well. I don't know if that's something that you knew. What would that mean to you if you were able to pull that off for the next couple weeks?
And if we're able to pull that off, I think it's going to be some crazy weeks after the Indy 500. So we're working towards that. We know we have a fast car. Obviously, we got the pole here last year. But it's the competition is tight and tight, so they never give you anything. So yeah, the focus now is on qualifying, trying to get the pole, but we want to win the Indy 500. In a couple of hours, I'll switch to Indy 500 mode. But it would mean, I don't know what it would mean. It would mean everything.
Last question. Are you running the same car chassis-wise that you ran in last year's 500 people?
Oh, yes. Yes,
Okay.
it's the same car.
Thanks.
Let's go next door. Nate, go ahead.
I was surprised when I looked up, this was your first victory since Mid-Ohio last July. So even, oh, that's right. Okay, never mind. Well, now you're fix that in my story.
Well, and thermal.
Yeah, that's right.
Okay, you don't.
That doesn't
I know.
Right.
But it was the same competition for us. Like for us, it was as hard as like thermal. Nobody counts thermal as a win, but it's for us we're competing against the same competitors. But yeah, anyway, since Portland.
Right. So it didn't feel that long, in other words, since your last win.
Yeah,
Even though it was Portland.
I mean, it was long. Yeah, it always feels long. If it's not the last one, it always feels long. But I felt like this year it's been good. It's been there. Like we've been around, but didn't really get a perfect race like today, where we could just get 100% of the car myself to get the win. So yeah, it felt long.
But one thing I'm sure about is this is your first victory as a father. So was that cool?
Yeah, amazing. First time that she's on the podium, also first pole. So it's very cool. I mean, it's extra special. We got a couple of photos with her, and yeah, cannot wait to get many more.
A reminder that tomorrow's Mother's Day.
Yeah,
So-
happy Mother's Day to all of us, especially my wife and my mom.
Yeah. Trying to help you out here, so.
Hey, I don't have to buy any gifts. I sent already one to my mom, which she will get tomorrow. It was her birthday yesterday. Yeah, but I need to get something tonight for Esther.
You might want to, just as well.
Yeah, flowers.
Sure, card, flowers, candy, trophy. Yeah. All right, Ben, save us from this. Go
I was
ahead.
going to say fried chicken as well, but you said you're not having that.
That's not gonna work.
Congratulations, Alex. Obviously, yourself and Scott have won so far this season. How much of an advantage does that give you guys going into the Indy 500, knowing that you have a car that is capable of winning?
Yeah, it's huge. I mean, even though last year we were really good, every year starts from zero. Everybody starts with the same points and same amount of wins, and it's good to get that out of the way early in the season. I mean, I had years where I didn't win until the last race, like 2022. So it's good to get that out of the way. But then when we switch the car and we switch the track to the other side, it doesn't translate what happened this weekend. We need to start all over again and try and work through the same things to try and get on Saturday and Sunday with speed.
And in terms of Marcus Armstrong's performance today, how impressed were you with him?
Yeah, he first time in the top 5, right? I mean, I think he's been working very hard, and he's been knocking on that door a lot. Still hasn't had the perfect weekend where everything fits for him, but he's been really fast. Even last year here in August, I think he qualified 7th, and unfortunately I took him out on the first lap. But he's been really good. Power. He went into the Fast 6, was the only car of the team in the Fast 6, and it's great that he got his first top 5. I'm sure that he will have a couple of wins this year.
Excellent. Well, congratulations.
Thank you.
Best of luck for tonight.
Thank you.
Let's go back row, enjoy. Go ahead.
No, Carmichael with Mighty Man. Alex, you dominated this race last year, and then dominated
Yeah, sorry, I wasn't I was like,
Oh, good. You dominated this race last year. You dominated the last half of this race this year. Just what is it about this circuit in particular that suits you so well and suits your driving style that allows you to just run away with these races, with, like the likes of which we haven't seen since like I believe Will Power back in 2014 or 15, 16?
I don't know, it's tough, but it's one of those races that you're not really limited on tires, on tire deck, so you can just go hard, and it's about the pace that you have. So I would say that last year, May 2023, we had a lot more advantage than what we had this year, but still I think the tire advantage we had at the last 10 on the new alternates that we saved helped us to open that gap. But yeah, for sure, I would say just the fact that we can go 100% just pushing every single lap, maybe that's why we see bigger differences here.
Joey?
We know, Alex, we know last year what kind of level you and the team were on, going to win the championship. Looking at the way things have panned out so far this year, do you feel like y'all are at the same level? Do you feel like y'all taken another step forward?
According to them, every time I ask, they took it to the next level. So hopefully we can have a little bit more speed from the car. They've been working really, really hard. And even myself, that doesn't really understand too much about mechanics, I can see the differences on the car. So having that said, I think a lot of people catched and made big steps, as we saw in the testing that we had a couple of months ago. So yeah, focusing on us, we did a lot of work, and I think that we'll have faster cars. But at the same time, I think there's other teams that will catch up.
And then I wanted to go back to the first pit stop today. Obviously, following Christian, normally we're used to seeing you go for the overcut. Whenever the leader comes in, you're staying out for an additional lap, which you ended up doing later in the race. But were you kind of shocked being called in, late to come in right behind Christian at the same time?
Yes and no. I understood. Like at the end of the day, I don't really know what's going on at the track. Maybe they saw something that could have been a yellow, and in that moment, if I take the decision, because they don't know if Christian is going to pit either. So if in that moment they call me in and I stay out, and yellow comes up, I would just through a race, so I cannot really take those decisions. But I wasn't shocked. I think we had to play it aggressive, but not too aggressive. It was at the same time, we actually didn't lose any time by doing that. It's true that we didn't keep position, but anyway, I think R would have overcut us, undercut us, because he was out already for a couple of laps and we have traffic up front. So probably without traffic, we would have stayed out. But with the traffic we had, I don't think I could have gone any faster.
Right.
I noticed on the broadcast that they like to compare your strategy to a surgeon. Do you feel like that's kind of the strategy that you have to win races?
Yeah, I mean, everything must be perfect. I guess that motorsport, it's always been that way because there are so many moving parts that as soon as something goes wrong, you're out because there's other teams there and other drivers. I think our race wasn't perfect, starting with by mistake on lap 1. But from that point, it was as good as it could have been. So yeah, I think nowadays in IndyCar, with the competition you have, you need to be 99% perfect.
Yeah. And then you kind of mentioned like the adjustments that come to the road course versus the oval, which with the 500, that's what you're going to be racing. What kind of challenges come up with having to change your mentality in just 2 weeks like that?
I mean, we need to change really fast. I mean, in like 72 hours, I think we'll be back on track, right? So it comes by really quick. It's completely different car for us. Obviously, the way you drive, you cannot really attack. You need to respect this place a lot, otherwise it bites you. Not like the road course. The road course, yeah, you can have a sprint and that's it. You just continue. Yeah, I don't know. It's different. You have a full week or 4 days of practice, and you can take your time to do things perfectly, step by step.
And then kind of touched on it a little bit earlier, but when you think about the 500, I know how much this course and that race in particular means to you. What would it mean for you to take that home, especially with your new perspective as a father?
Yeah, I mean, I love winning. Every race is important, and that's what I think about every day I wake up, but the 500 would mean, I don't know what it would mean, honestly. I think it's so big, it has so much history behind it, has so much potential, and it separates the drivers from just normal drivers to legends, everybody that has won it. Yeah, it would be amazing to win it.
Do you remember your first memories of racing the 500?
Yeah, of course, it was just like 4 or 5 years ago, so yeah.
That's all I got.
Tim May, you're next. Eduardo Almost, stand by, we'll come to you off Zoom. Go ahead, Tim.
Hey, Alex, number one on that restart, where you moved way to the right and stuff, when did you decide to make that move? Was it instantaneous, or did you plan that as you're coming out of like the last turn?
No, I mean...
Did it feel a little risky to you? I don't know, go ahead.
Yeah, I mean, it was, he got a really good restart. He had a shorter first gear, as I said, than we did, so his jump was actually a little bit better than mine. Then on top of that, he had my toe, so I just saw it coming and I had to defend. I didn't want to give the lead back, so yeah, I thought it was the best thing that we could have done.
Did it feel slippery going in there, though, from where you were coming into that turn?
Yeah, especially with all the pickup that we had that late into the race. Even at the beginning, at the start, I got some pickup that probably didn't help with my braking, but yeah, I got a ton of pickup, and actually it took me like until turn 7 to take everything out from the from rain.
And one last thing, what do you remember, I don't mean to bring up maybe a tough memory, what do you remember most about the 500 last year?
No, it wasn't tough. I mean, it wasn't easy, and it wasn't amazing for us when you have chances to win, but I mean, we had a really fast car and got into an accident on pit lane. It wasn't our fault and wasn't in our control. And from that point, we switched our game, and it was about recovering as many positions as possible. And we did from 28th to 4th, which was, in my opinion, as much as we could have done. So I was proud of the job we did. So it wasn't, I don't have bad memories from last year. I really have really good memories.